Welcome freelancers, I'm Lupian, and today I will be finishing the series that we have been working on. In our last video, we looked into Fort Tarsus and the factions that reside there. We also had a look at the Striders and how they have helped us explore. But none of that would be possible without our Javelins. The Javelins are powered exosuits, handcrafted from the finest materials on the planet, and piloted by the skilled and highly trained lancers of the factions. The Sentinels and the Freelancers Guild are the only factions that are known to have lancers. Javelins are hard to construct, and the resources they are made from are difficult to obtain, leading to their rarity. That being said, if they are damaged in combat, but able to be brought back to the fort, there are amazingly skilled mechanics that are, on the most part, able to bring them back from the brink. Some of the technology in the Javelins has been adapted from the Shaper relics that litter the world. Even though the mechanics are well trained, they still don't fully understand the Shaper technology, so they have to remain cautious when maintaining the Javelins. There are 4 distinct variants in the fort that play very different roles and are favoured by different lancers. The Ranger variant is the most common among the Javelins. This Javelin was developed to handle almost any encounter. Moderately armoured, but still having the agility it needs. It can handle taking some punishment, but if things get too intense, the Lancer has the agility required to move to another location quickly for more cover. When piloting the Ranger, the Lancer has access to missile pods that can devastate mobs of enemies, or be used to take down one large opponent. This unit has access to a large variety of attachments that can make a big difference in whatever combat situation the Lancer finds themselves in. This is the reason the Ranger is favoured by the Freelancers Guild. The Storm is a more mysterious Javelin. This Javelin manipulates the elements and uses them to its advantage. Being able to hurl ice shards at the enemy, or call down a lightning bolt to decimate groups of combatants. This Javelin has some devastating abilities. Unlike the other classes of Javelin, the Storm does not require the use of thrusters to fly or hover. By manipulating kinetic energy, the Storm can generate the required thrust to achieve liftoff. This gives it the ability to maintain an altitude for prolonged periods of time. When hovering in this fashion, the Storm generates a barrier, boosting the shields, allowing them to take more damage from the enemy, and compensates for its light armor. This gives the Lancer an edge in the fact that it can maintain a high perspective of the battlefield without being as vulnerable to damage as one of the other Javelins would be. The Storm was adapted from the Dominion's Javelin, so we can use their own technology against them. This is what Matthias has to say about it.
Brilliant choice. Lightning at your fingertips? Fearsome. The seals the Storm utilizes are based on tech smuggled in from Strawheim.
Dominion tech?
Helios engineered an Arcanist enhanced to use the Dominion's knowledge against them. Delicious revenge.
I can't wait to try it out.
Just remember, the Storm can't take damage like a big stompy colossus.
No fistfights with turrets then?
Fistfights are for drunken idiots. You get to harness the elements. Throw fire, freeze your enemies.
If the Arcanists help build it, have you ever tried using one?
I'm not a Lancer. I did slip into a Javelin once for a moment. Didn't like the way it made my butt look. No worries, I'm sure you'll make it work.
The Interceptor also has an interesting history. Developed by Corvus as a forward scout, the Interceptor has to be super agile to stay ahead of the enemies. But that comes with a sacrifice. This Javelin has low armor, so it cannot withstand the same kind of punishment that some of the other Javelins can. That being said, the agility serves the Interceptor very well. Being able to enter close combat with its glaives and deal devastating amounts of damage before quickly boosting away means that the Lancer is very hard to engage, and used properly, this Javelin can serve the Freelancers in many different circumstances. The Colossus is a tank when compared to the other Javelins. This unit is built to not only take, but deal large amounts of damage on the battlefield. Being heavily armoured makes the Colossus feel a little sluggish compared to the other Javelins, but having access to heavy ordnance that the others can't carry gives this Lancer an edge when facing large groups or even a major enemy. If the situation gets too hectic, the Lancer can pull out a large shield that the Colossus has and use it to get out of the heat. That being said, the shield can also be used for combat. If there are hazards blocking the advance of the team, then the Lancer piloting the Colossus can pull out a shield and just run down the hazard. Whether it be Scar, Dominion, or even landmines, the shield can take the brunt of the force and deal decent damage as it goes. Yarrow of the Freelancers Guild was a Colossus pilot in his day. This is what he has to say about his beloved Javelin.
You have made a good choice, Freelancer.
Thanks, Yarrow.
Colossus is the most powerful of all javelins. Not so fancy, but this one hits very hard. Thick armor makes it slow, but with a big cannon and heavy shield, others run, not you. Outside the wall, you are the wall. And this particular Colossus is close to my heart.
Why is that?
Same chestplate I wore in combat many years in the past. And now, you will wear it.
You wore this in battle?
Oh yes, shot many times. Wear it. Continue the work. Who knows the story you will write?
There is more than one enemy clawing at the walls of the fort, thus the necessity to have the Javelins. These enemies are opposed to the success of Fort Tarsus, but for different reasons. But what we do know is they want the walls to fall. The Dominion, for instance, are a militaristic nation to the north of Fort Tarsus that have been in constant conflict with the fort recently. The main danger that the Freelancers face with them is that they want to harness the power of the Anthem of Creation. Every time someone messes with a Shaper technology, they create hazards for everyone else in the nearby area. This is the problem the Dominion has with the fort. They want to rule by using the power, whereas the people of the fort believe that it is best to study them, but not to disturb them. This forms constant conflict. The Monitor is the current threat. As the leader of the Dominion military, the Monitor sends constant raids against the fort, trying to stop them from being able to respond to their efforts to harness the Anthem. The Dominion are not the only humans that threaten the fort. There are roaming bands of outlaws that will try to kill or rob anyone that travels out in the wilds. The Freelancers must be careful not to be caught by surprise, as they have their own Javelins, and they can be very dangerous to the unsuspecting traveller. The Scar is an alien race of insect-like creatures that inhabit the planet. No one is sure how they came to be, or exactly why they are so bent on destroying the Freelancers. What we do know is that the Scar seem to be attracted to the Shaper technology. They have a mysterious connection to the Shapers, and seem to be able to use some of the technology. They often pose a threat to Fort Tarsus, and it is the job of the Freelancer to travel out there, stop them from accomplishing their goals, and to make sure whatever Shaper technology they have activated is stopped. The last enemy that the Freelancer has to face is the most dangerous of them all. Being that the Shapers didn't finish the creation of the world in the beginning, the environment is still very unstable. The freelancers have to battle against the world itself. The activation of Shaper relics have created powerful, dangerous beasts that now roam the world. The freelancers constantly fight to stay alive in a world that literally wants to destroy them. All the animals in the world are dangerous, from the mighty Ash Titan, aggressive giant fire elementals that thirst for destruction, all the way down to the Grabbits. Even though they are harmless when the Lancer is in their Javelin, they would eat us alive if they got a chance. Not only are the animals out to get them, but the Lancers also have anomalies caused by the Shaper technology to contend with. Everything from freak storms, earthquakes, or volcanic eruptions, or even gravitational anomalies. And when things get really bad, there is an anomaly known as a cataclysm that has the power to destroy cities, level mountain ranges, and summon some of the greatest threats that the fort will ever face. This is why the freelancers are needed, to face the threat head on and to save lives in Fort Tarsus. Thank you all for watching. This is the end of the lore series that I was making to bring you up to date on all the lore that we have pre-launch. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, then a like would be greatly appreciated, as I am trying to build this channel, and every like helps gets this video seen. If you would like more videos on Anthem's lore, then feel free to subscribe. I hope you all have a good week, and I will see you all in the wilds of Bastion.